thing that I've learned is that, ultimately there's no shortcut to making money. I'm quite boring. People are always looking for hot tips from me, but I think it's all about patient investing over the long term, ultimately looking to benefit from that compounding of returns. I think the beauty of compounding of returns is probably something that I've come to appreciate over the years. So that's what I believe in, is very long-term investment, being quite strategic. I think that most people, if they mark themselves to market on their short-term trading, would find they're not adding much value from it.
My key point would be to start saving and investing as early as one can. It will reap the benefits, absolutely. Two, I would say planning. Think about planning. Make investing or saving part of your monthly budget. Don't just take it from what's left off at the end. Plan for that type of saving. And even if it's just quite modest amounts at the start, getting into that routine I think is really, really important. And then do one's homework. And there's lots of information out there that one can read, access. Much of it is jargon free, and makes it, I guess, less confusing and less complex for certain investors out there. And if you think it's the right thing for you, then seek financial advice. That is the solution for a number of individuals. Patience is also something I think is important. So, one has to plan, prepare, but also having patience, I think, is one thing that people should, think about, because ultimately for many, this is quite a long game. We are investing for perhaps retirement or later stages in life. And I guess the final point I would make is to think very carefully about diversification, whether that be by geography, sector, or indeed by asset class. No one wants to put all their eggs in one basket, or shouldn't want to, in my view. So I think it's good to think about one's tolerance to risk and what your own financial objective and target is for the future, because as we know, everyone is different, the starting point is different, and the end objective may be different.
The most important thing is to focus on what you enjoy. It must be enjoyable. I think investing shouldn't be something that makes you feel uncomfortable. There is so much opportunity. You can invest in equities and fixed income across a variety of markets. If you enjoy it, you will get better at it. That's the most important thing. Trying to identify things that interest you. I tend to find that people, there's always, as you mentioned, a human effect, an association with a company that you may like. You may like their goods and services. That should encourage you to invest, be a part of their future.
And obviously, we're all living longer, and the average age of the population is growing. And you haven't got the same sort of security in terms of your long-term savings as you perhaps historically have had. So you've got to be on top of your investments. You've got to understand the risks that you're taking. I mean, one of the things that I learned from a very early age, and it was partly because my father did a lot of his own investing, was, you want to save from an early age. Don't leave it too late. And so I regularly contributed into my pension scheme from the very start of my career. And, the value of those investments now are significant to my total wealth. And they've grown and compounded because of the types of investments that I've put money towards. So, one of the key things, messages I would provide for anybody, male or female, is don't leave it too late. Just start saving now, because you're going to need it in the future. And there's lots of advice that you can get, but just be sensible about it. And I think with women, I know perhaps this may come on to one of your questions, but I think we're pretty pragmatic. We've got a good sense and sensibility, and understanding what you own and why you own it is so key to investing. And I think that women do bring that flair with them in having that approach to your own investments and where you can be successful.